It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to The Local Show. Hey, it's the 2023 Winter Edition. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk about the business owners and talk to the CEOs and the CFOs and entrepreneurs, nonprofit businesses, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. They're all on the show, and we talk about how they got into business. But why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, that's an interesting question, and where their businesses might be going in the future. Now, you'll hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. Broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Here we are, and we say good morning to Steve Roberts. How are you there, buddy?
I'm doing all right, Tom. I didn't dress for the live stream today.
No,
I got the Zoey apparel underneath, but this hoodies keep me warm. I look like that senator from Pennsylvania that I didn't vote for.
Yeah.
Well, because you couldn't.
Well, it depends. Some people have used that. We won't go there, Tom.
Well, you look like a typical YouTuber.
So I got the hoodie and everything, and
Sure.
it's warm, and I got the Zoey apparel. But I just am like, Tom. You carry the show. I just sit here. So do your thing. What is the thing you do?
I carry it into the seventh layer of hell is where I carry it. I don't know what you're
Do
talking
the
about.
thing that you do so well. That's a song, too.
I think you sell yourself short, Tom.
Yeah, maybe. Well, look, we've got a great show for you, folks. Some good guests on. So listen for George Powers. He's the owner of Powers Accounting. We'll have a conversation with him. We're going to talk with Dave Lavelle. He's the owner of In Focus Insurance. And then Sheila Ostrom stops by, owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions. And then Neil Carr, Vice President of Prime Heating and Air. Matt Mazur is the founder of Growth Mode Technologies. Betsy Blasland will stop by. She's the owner of Diana Jewelers and has been, she's family, so she's been around for 100 years, but she's not quite 100.
She's your family?
Not my family,
Okay,
but
just checking.
a family.
I didn't know.
That's owned that jewelry store. And then Lizzie Blackburn. She's the owner of Dizzy Lizzie's Farms. And we'll get the scoop on them and see what they're all about. Right now, it's our pleasure to bring on George Powers. As usual, a wealth of knowledge.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing this fine and lovely day?
Excellent, my friend. How are you?
I'm great and getting better.
Yeah, that's always good to get better.
Yeah, I think he's getting too comfortable, Tom.
He's
he's
always been
he grabs them like, yeah, hey guys. But he actually, before we started, he actually pushed me over.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way, Steve.
It's not like you haven't hosted the show before.
Sure.
Oh, it's just like home here.
A dysfunctional home.
Well, yes,
but a home
it's all the same.
Home once it is.
Yeah. So now, how did you get into this business? Like, what did you do before Powers Accounting?
Immediately before Powers Accounting, I actually worked for a business organization.
Oh, yeah?
We sold business memberships it was actually political.
BJ's?
Lobbying.
BJ's?
No, it was actually...
Sam's Club?
It was actually a lobbying organization, a national business advocacy group. And I had my financial
You were a
and accounting
salesperson?
training. I was. Believe it or
Wait,
not.
George Powers,
Yeah.
Powers Accounting, Left Brain George, the kid that helped you in math, was a salesperson.
I actually can pretty good
Yeah,
at that.
he's
Actually.
pretty
good,
Yeah,
yeah.
I actually can do pretty
Well,
well.
he's
at
got
that.
me sold. He's very believable.
Yeah, and so I did that for years. I'd already had my financial and accounting training, and then I was giving accounting and tax advice to the people buying a one-year membership, and I decided, I probably should go in the business of doing this. I've never been a very good employee. I'd always been one of those bad employees.
So you were like...
And so I decided if someone's going to be the jerk boss, it might as well be me.
Wait, so you ended up doing tax, so like the guy in Shawshank Redemption, the movie.
I didn't see the movie.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then the prisoner, and then he started doing everybody's taxes and all that, and then he stole all the money. You're that guy?
Well, I didn't steal the money, but it kind of grew. So it was I came into it sideways, I guess.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
I was matter of fact, I was just looking at. I initially got into a franchise doing the accounting, and I was just going through some stuff, cleaning out my office the other day, and I found the initial newsletter where I was a picture of when I just went into business. I looked like a baby.
Right.
I was 30 years old, and I think,
you.
man, that looked young.
Interesting. So how long have you been in business then, in the current iteration of your business?
About 27 years.
Wow, that's a long time, man.
Yeah, it really is. It goes fast.
Do you do more than taxes? What else do you do?
The biggest part of what we do is what we call our client care service. And we work with their business clients on a monthly basis. We put together their monthly intelligence, their monthly accounting. We do their sales tax return, keep them in compliance. We talk with them about their business, how to grow their business, what they need to do with the business. Tax planning, if we need to worry about that. When you have to worry about taxes, that's a good thing. When you don't have to worry about taxes, we got a lot bigger issues to concern ourselves with. But we work with them on a monthly basis. What we do is, you think about big companies have their CEOs, they have their CFOs, they have their payroll clerk, they have all the advisors, they have them full time. Small businesses can't afford that full time.
Right.
So they buy little pieces of us doing those exact things. So that's really what we try to provide, is that financial intelligence and support that other companies have. We get experience by looking in other businesses. We've seen inside more businesses than most business owners ever will. And we see when they make a mistake, we see when they do something well, and we try to take that wisdom and provide that to our ongoing clients.
Common mistakes that small business does? I mean,
Yes.
so like because you've seen hundreds of businesses, like seeing that before. What are they?
One of the biggest mistakes is business owners trying to hire somebody like them. That's the single biggest mistake I think I've seen.
Tell me more.
Well, you think, okay, I've started a business, I can work, I've had all these hard times and I've made it through it. So you find somebody, say, well, this person seems just like me, I'll hire them. And they don't do what you want them to do because they're not you. Also, if you're a business owner, you probably would make a very poor employee. Right. So you don't want you working for you. You want a person who does not want to be the owner, who wants to be an employee, who are part of a team. I guess now we call it team members. And that's really much more of what we're working more towards these days, is a team approach because the younger generation have taken a different view of work. Not a bad one. One we probably should have been looking at years ago ourselves. They're asking
Being lazy and not showing up, you mean?
No, I disagree with that. They do. There are some that don't show up, but there always was. There's people in our generation that are lazy and don't show up. So I think we got the same percentages. But they're asking for more time off maybe, or more a balance. They want a little different work life. We probably should have been asking for the same exact thing when we were their ages. We didn't. Right. So I think that is a challenge with a lot of businesses, is finding good staff, good team members, and working with them and accepting that the next generation down thinks a little differently. Yeah. It's not wrong. It's just different. And I think you should have a mixture of young and wiser, we won't call them us old, but wiser people in the staff.
Sure. So trend-wise, there's a lot of different businesses that are popping up and different ways of people working. What do you see coming down the line here in the next year or so?
Tom, there are some businesses that have popped up that I have no idea how they make it. Some of these things that sell nothing but, we're talking to somebody that they sell nothing but like cards, trading cards. And I'm not talking about baseball, football cards. Talking about some of these like magic cards and things like that. They make a huge living at this. You've got other things popping up. You've got, remember the smoke shops of the 70s? They're coming back.
I know. I've seen
How do you make a living selling bongs? Are they still called bongs, or are they something else now?
No,
they have a secondary product they make more money on now, George.
Well, actually, they don't. The marijuana, and technically it's not legal. Well, it's legal, but you can't sell it in New York State.
Sure.
We're talking about those weird rules. They don't make money. There is not a national model where selling marijuana in retail stores is profitable.
So that's it. We're not going to do it, Tom.
Right. Because there's huge problems. There's huge tax issues with the sale of marijuana.
All right. Well, my director is telling me I have to go away, I guess. So,
sorry. Running my mouth too much.
No. We'll hold you over and keep talking. What do you think?
I'd love to talk to you more.
All right. Well, stick around, folks. You're listening to The Local Show. We'll be back in a minute with George Powers. More on taxes and finance and all that stuff right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it. You've got The Local Show right here on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM. And of course, YouTube. If you get to the YouTube page and look up Zoey Advertising, please go ahead and follow the Zoey Advertising page and then hit the like button. And that helps the algorithm, maybe serve up more of those video clips. As a matter of fact, in my own timeline, I'm noticing that in between all of the girls doing yoga and stretching and all that, which somehow gets served up to me, I might have clicked on one video 10 years ago and it's still following me around. But I'm noticing all the Zoey Advertising stuff.
I'm seeing
it pops up.
I saw the same thing in the last week, and Brad just put a really amazing video of the Syracuse Nationals coming up here. It was an aerial tour of that we had. It was sitting in the archives. He put it up this week, which was neat. And there's some other things there other than the Local Show. But people can scroll through and see things, and people they know, they will definitely see people they know.
Right. Once you hit it once, it'll follow you forever.
Forever and ever.
That's right.
We've been talking with George Powers, who's the owner of Powers Accounting. And is this tax season? Would you call it tax season?
Oh, yeah, it's tax season. It is now officially tax season.
Okay.
You can tell by his eyes.
Yeah. How many people you have working? Because, it can't all be done by you. So.
Oh, no. We have a team of, I think it's 10 people now.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Looking to add another one or two. But right now we have 10 team members.
Is it too late to do something to save money on last year's or this year's taxes, depending how you reference it? Has that ship sailed?
Not necessarily. There are still some things you can do, but most of what you could have done ends at the 31st of the year. There's still some potentially some retirement. There's some other things if you bought equipment, there's some things you can do with that. So there still are some things you can do, but the primary portion of tax planning comes prior to December 31st. That's when you still have a lot of flexibility to do things. That's why we try to work with our clients at that time to have conversations with them from October to December to see, what are your taxes going to be and what do you want it to be? It's not the amount of the tax bill that's the problem. It's the surprise of it. When you tell somebody they owe over $1 million in taxes, you think they'd fall out of their seat. But if they knew, if you've been talking to them for 6 months about it and they've got the money, well, let's face it, if you have $1 million in taxes, you got the money.
Did that happen to Tom?
No comment about Tom. But, and so it's the surprise. It's the April 14th here, you owe $5,000. That's a problem. It's not you go 85,000, but we've known about it for a year and a half. That is, you have come to accept it and you've planned for it and you've either done what you can to reduce it or decided, no, I'm just going to pay the difference and keep it.
Can I use my health savings account to buy a boat?
That would be a definite no.
Oh, jeez.
Right.
But do people do stupid stuff?
Oh, people do stupid stuff all the time. There is no limit on people doing stupid things, taxes or anywhere else. Let's face it. We see enough of the world. We see a lot of stupid things in the world.
I thought it was interesting that the Intuit tax people, which, for those of us who've been around for a while, it started off as what, QuickBooks or
QuickBooks, TurboTax,
and all
Quicken.
that. Yeah.
Quicken's now
Quicken,
sold.
yeah, right, way back.
Intuit doesn't own Quicken anymore. They've sold that off.
But it started as that, right? Yeah. So now I've noticed a little change in their marketing. Now they're saying, come to us and don't do your taxes.
I love it. That is market. Tom, we haven't talked about this.
Yeah.
I saw that they were doing that on the football games. We were hearing those.
Right.
Don't do your taxes. What do you mean don't do it? I think it's genius.
Which is a shift from do your taxes with our software.
What they're doing now is they're offering tax preparers, and they hire tax preparers to do the taxes. So that is a market that they're working on. They've obviously decided. One of the challenges about Intuit, they're a huge vendor for the accounting industry, but they're also a huge competitor. Most
they
of the
own
people,
QuickBooks?
Yes, they own QuickBooks Desktop, QuickBooks Online.
Right.
They own 2 or 3 professional tax software programs. So they own a lot of the accounting industry stuff. They're a software company is what they are.
Gotcha.
They didn't write the programs. They bought them and then have modified them. But it's typically a different market than most folks. And what they're also seeing is, I was just reading a Wall Street Journal article not long ago. 17% of the accountants have been getting out of the business in the last couple of years. So there's a huge decline in people doing taxes, people doing accounting. Young folks don't want to do it. So there's try to find an accountant if you want to hire one. It is not easy to find.
Really?
And every year, I just got a call from somebody yesterday. His tax person retired. It was not too long ago. Tax person died. You go to tax update seminars and you look around and half the people are over 65 or more than half. So
Gotcha.
It is an industry that is having less and less people doing it. So Intuit is seeing the people, seeing the potential market and say, hey, come on.
Yeah, but for a
we'll do it.
business, isn't it goofy to have somebody to put things in a big bag or a cart or a shoebox at the end of the year and go, here, file my taxes? Isn't that the wrong way to do it?
Intuit's not going to do that, by the way, and that is the wrong way to do it. Intuit will take the stuff. You have to scan everything to them. You have to organize it and send it to them, because I've seen some tax returns that have come from these places, and they do exactly what you give them. They don't ask questions. They do it exactly as you give them. So they're assuming that what you're giving them is the right thing. Now, what a lot of a good accountant and professional tax preparer will ask questions. Hey, what's this number? You've got $85,000 in office supplies. What did you put in office supplies?
A boat.
I actually saw a boat on a tax return. We didn't do the return that got audited.
You did not.
And I was looking at it and said, what's your cost of goods? Well, that's my boat. What do? I sell boats. Well, you don't sell, but he got commissioned on selling boats.
Right.
He didn't actually sell the individual boats. He just got commissions for selling them. So he said, that's my personal boat. Well, why'd you put that there? Well, the last guy said, because I use it, kind of like a demo model. I said, do you take customers out on it? Nah, not really. Okay. So they deducted the boat. Can't do that in that situation. Now, I'm not saying you cannot deduct a boat.
You can deduct a boat?
I have a fishing charter company. That's all they do, and he deducts his boat.
Well, if your guy just likes to fish.
I guess it would, yeah.
Not for you, not for you,
I'm
Steve.
trying.
Just because you like to fish. So there is a lot of crazy things. Yes.
Yeah, and that's the difference between you and those types of services where you're actually helping and guiding and
A professional person will ask questions.
Yeah.
And will want to say, if you're going to put your name on it, myself or anybody that's professional doing what we do, if we're going to put our name on it, we want to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. So if you see something, we're not going to guarantee it's going to be perfect, but if you see something that looks funny, we are, by our ethics and by IRS standards, supposed to ask questions.
Yeah.
You can't ignore the obvious. So if you got a tax return, you're looking at the books and you look at the bank account and it says it's overdrawn by $85,000. You pretty much can be assured that something's not right.
And it says boat.
It says boat. That's a good thing. Something's probably not right. So you ask questions. But at the same time, it also occurs on the other side if you see things missing. Wait a minute, I don't see any telephone expense. I don't see, you're a salesman on the road. I don't see any mileage. You know, these are legitimate things to ask as well. And so a person with experience and knowledge will ask these things.
So it probably costs more for someone to do it themselves.
Depending. It's hard to say if a person has one W-2, it's hard to say
How
that
about
I can help.
a business owner that might have a few employees?
I think it
shouldn't be doing their own haircuts if they're, because they're going to miss some things.
I'm going to say correct because I'm a little biased that way. But if we've done it, I do more taxes in a year than people, if they do their own taxes, will do in a couple lifetimes.
Right.
So we see a lot of things, and so we kind of know what to look for. And we've seen other things that are deductible. And there's a new deduction for New York State for business owners. That if you have a business in New York State, there's a new deduction, a better deduction. So that's something that people will miss. If you hire a veteran, there's a veteran credit.
Nice.
New one.
So can people
Bigger
still get
one.
on board with you this year? Or
yes, but it's running out of time. We're getting 4 to 5 calls a day for new clients, and we're about ready to start cutting off the new clients.
So gpowers.com.
Yeah.
G-Powers, that's for George Powers.
It is.
And it's 701-1120 if they want to give you a ring, 701-1120.
Correct.
Good. Well, thank you very much, George, and thanks for sticking around, and have a great season, okay?
Thank you for having me in, guys. Have a great day.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Dave Lavelle. He's the owner of In Focus Insurance. We'll find out all about his business next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR. Stick around.